Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of Stage 4 out on the Glasgow Crit Circuit for the Zwift Games. And I'm Nathan Guerra. Dave Towle is sat next to me in Palm Springs, it sounds like, coming right off of commentating, the Cactus Cup. Out on some dirt, it sounds like. I'm not sure if he was out on the dirt, but big MTB race. You were? He was out on the dirt.
Yeah, well, I camped. So I was on the dirt for 3 days straight out there, the exact polar opposite. It was your world that I was in, Nathan. Actually, Daxton Mock, a guy you've raced with a lot, was on the podium out here.
Yeah,
so that was super
good.
cool
Looked
to see.
like it was fast, hard racing on the MTB. Time trial followed up by short track, followed up by a XC race. That's a big weekend.
Yeah, they enduro as well. It's actually,
oh wow,
it's the old Cactus Cup format. Not everybody did everything. The pros would have done short track Friday night and then jumped right into the cross country, the 40-mile cross country, and then enduro to wrap it up. But why bury the lead here, Nathan? All of the congratulations needs to go straight into your household after tremendous. So, I mean, it was just an incredible weekend of racing with the Zwift Games. But I don't know where Gabby is. Is she at a parade right now for herself?
I think she was cooking breakfast, honestly.
Yeah. Well, she ended
right
up on
now,
the podium.
she woke up and here's where Gabby is during every broadcast. She's getting dressed to ride her bike. That's what that's where
Right.
Gabby's always at, is getting dressed to ride her bike, I think is what's happening right about now.
And of course, don't want to leave out Catherine Furrer as well. She's been a friend of ours in Zwift community for a long time. And so really great to see good things happening for good people, Nathan, and great job yourself on the broadcast. You really brought it, man.
Good racing.
It's fun,
good
fun,
racing.
fun.
Yeah, really good
So we're
racing.
back. Sorry to jump on you, but we're back here in Glasgow. Now, I was just talking minutes ago to Freddie Ovett, and we talked about Matthew Vanderpool. He's his buddy. They train together all the time. And
really?
he was mentioning how Matthew trained on this Glasgow Crit Circuit a lot leading up to the World Championships. And we're back there racing now. So I think we've really now, Zwift community, World Tour racing, big-time gravel racers, mountain bike racing, it's all one huge family, isn't it, Nathan?
It really is, definitely. And I actually am seeing that you were mentioning Appleson de Koonik has actually shown up out here. James Shells, it looks like, from Belgium, is in with our riders today, which is interesting to see. With the pro kit on in game, looking like we've got about 100 riders in the A category here now at this point, as they do finish up their lap number one. There was a couple of attacks from the get-go. It's going to be a short one today, fast one today, isn't it, Dave? I mean, 5 laps. They've already got one down here at this point. We saw a round in the men's race for the Zwift Games in the sprint stages a couple weeks back. I think it was around a 20-minute race or something like that. I mean, this is going to be, look, we already are done with less than 5 minutes here for this first lap with 5 laps. So I think we'll be a little bit over a 20-minute race here today. And if they're going to pick this up at all, I mean, they were doing 6 watts per kilogram around the entirety of the first lap, it looked like here. So it's been fast and furious from the get-go. We'll take a look at the standings here in just a moment, just for the top 10 in this A category. But it does look like Kaboom is here. Eifert's here from the Dragons. A lot of big names, Dave, I think, to be watching out for, that's for sure, across all of these riders here. McCarthy from Velocia, we'll see if he tries to make any big moves. He does like to make some, a lot of times, a throwdown with kind of a sneak off the front kind of move. But I think it's been so fast from the get-go, none of the familiar names have been able to really do much of anything, as this Frenchman, JB74, has been just smashing almost 6 watts per kilogram all the way through. So always the new ones here, it seems. Well, maybe a little bit newer. He's got this Zwift Ride On kit. You've always got the lowdown on this kit that I can't always quite remember.
This is the Z kit that the Bob Roll war in his career, but Greg LeMond certainly is one of the riders that really made it famous. If our Norwegian friends out there would like me to say Atle Kvalsvold, another one of the big names. But yeah, Nathan, that was a French company that sold kids' clothing back. I don't know if they're still in business or not, but there's Greg LeMond. Or excuse me, I don't know why. I thought that was
does
Greg
not
LeMond.
look like. Well, I could have thought that was for a second.
Yeah.
No, I actually was like, huh.
But Greg LeMond was never Master World Champion.
This guy must be a Masters World Champion. That must be why
100%.
He's got 100%. That medal and that jersey. So George here, JB74. I'm assuming maybe that's an age. Let's wait and see here.
Nathan, if you're going to be mistaken for someone and it's age appropriate, Greg LeMond is not a bad guy, is it? If you're in the bike racing world, to someone say, hey, he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'd take that as a compliment, But so
did you watch the broadcast this past weekend at all? Because Arnold Schwarzenegger came up a lot, actually, which is kind of funny.
Asking for the riders, asking them who would play them in a movie, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That was it. That was exactly it.
So looks like he's getting back up here onto the wheel as we are out on lap number 2 of 5 on this Glasgow circuit. Nathan, this circuit has been well worn in, hasn't it? A lot of racing out here, super popular, Clyde kicker and all.
This guy's actually, he's a downhill mountain bike Masters mountain bike world champion, actually, is what I'm seeing here coming out of France. So cool to see. 70 plus age category. So welcome to the Zwift Games and the ZRacing Monday broadcast. Also able to race with people asking, we all duel, right? Here we go. I love this crew. They're hilarious here. Jay Michel's here. I'm not actually familiar with Jay Michel's. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. He does not have a Zwift power profile either, I do not believe. And I think, go ahead, Dave.
A little bit of action here on the front, Nathan. This is a GC event, so the time for the group matters, and this is how you keep it spicy. You keep things moving forward. This isn't really quite an attack, is it, Nathan? It looks like it's just guys trying to put a little coal on the fire, get some steam going.
Yeah, it looks like exactly that. I think, and I think they do not want the pace necessarily to slow down. This is going to be Gent Michel's. Looks like probably a picture from back in the 2020.
I'm going to guess that's pre-2020.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Probably before March, I would guess. It's amazing. We're just hitting that 4-year mark right now.
That's crazy.
From the whole beginning of lockdown. Yeah.
Huh. Well, in the A category, things have calmed down a little bit here. They tried to make a couple of pushes, or maybe not calm down, just the pace has been so incredibly high that it's whittled things down little by little, and consistently 5 watts per kilogram on the front. But you can sit in a steady like 3.5 to 4, I think, as these riders are looking to maybe try and make some moves. Their third time up and over the top of this Clyde kicker. And as they do, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it looks like these guys, even though this is where you talk about how carrying speed and momentum is so critical, right? You can see some riders. Oh, I asked today about Zwiftcraft with Freddie Ovett, actually. And I said, giving you, Nathan, yourself, actually you, a 10 out of 10 on Zwiftcraft, what does Freddie Ovett give himself? I think you'd find the answer quite interesting, to tell you the truth, because here's a guy who's got Zwiftcraft dialed in, Kaboom, RT Kaboom, I should say, one of the more successful riders we've seen throughout the last few months of racing in this ZRacing series, raced like a champ. RT Kaboom was always in the mix, and this is the first legitimate attack, I'd say, Nathan, going clear, getting separation, and we move into another phase of this race. This is going to be the back half now, as we're going to be seeing 2 to go on the lap counter in a bit. But absolutely a difference maker right now is RT.
RT Boom on the move. Now, there are general classifications for this. Our current time for the classifications after 4 events, and that includes the epic race this weekend. And you can do the makeup races as well. There will be makeup races, and there'll be 2 weeks of those toward the end of March. So be on the lookout for those. And as we do, you'll be able to try and take down these times. Now, if you have done your stages already, 1, 2, and 3, that would be the first 2 sprint stages, followed up by the epic race, which would be the first 3. And then this stage, that then will get us to the current times that we're seeing here in the A category, 3:09:53 being the fastest time with Jarek Mazurek from Sisu, Shane Pepler there, and Ed Bentley. I'll just stay with those top 3 at this point, because 3:09:53, 3:10:07, and 3:10:47 are the times you're aiming at if you want to get into that top 3. Top 10 around a 3:16:28, it looks like, with Kelsey Smith at the top, at the bottom of that there. For that is for the A category we're looking at. We will be looking at the B category in just a moment. It doesn't look like RT was caught on that downhill that we just saw and into the champion sprint. They'll be starting lap number 4 here as Kaboom gets pulled back in. You know what I'm liking also about this is that people like Martin here are able to use whatever bike that they want to. What is this bike? Look at that thing. That's an interesting one for sure. This is with these wheels on here.
Wow.
Well done. And the reason that this is you can do these because all bikes are neutralized in these events. So you can show up with whatever cool setup that you want. Even the big spin bike, which you could get. I haven't seen one yet, but I do know the big spin has kicked off. And
that must be where this was acquired, right? I have never seen.
I don't think this
before.
one. I don't know about this one. I don't think this is acquired there, but I mean, this one is around. I think the reason we haven't seen this combo is what it is because he put some interesting wheels on it, and so it's not familiar. But this is the safety bike, just with some interesting wheel set on it. So very expensive bike though. You got to spend some big drops to get that one.
All right. We're bikes neutralized is interesting for sure. This is one of the, we are able to have a little more fun around with the broadcasting because there are so many moving pieces here. You've got some riders who will just show up to race the stage and will definitely be disruptors in that sense. Other riders are all in for the GC. And I think probably a majority of the riders here, Nathan, are looking for their best GC time, but they can come back and race with another group. As long as we're, the duration of time, it will be, it varies, but ultimately you can do this 5-10 times if you so choose, looking to find the fastest group to race out of. And the input that you have on that definitely has an effect, but a lot of it's out of your hands as well, just depending on how the group wants to race. And clearly we got some guys who really want to race, like Kirkfield, one of the dominant dragons, an apex dragon that we've had out here as they start to string out the group. Nathan, we're down to around 4K of racing here, so a lap and a bit until this one is done and dusted. Yeah, they're pushing the accelerator down on the floorboard, no doubt now.
Yeah, good to see Podsy here up toward the front. I think he was a little bit calmer for the first couple of laps than we've seen in the past, or perhaps the pace was so incredibly high that it was just nothing really could be done about the pace that was being set. But we're seeing the classic Michael Podsaline to the front, maybe a late attack. Will anyone with such a large back here and the kind of firepower in the Zwift Games, when we saw the win from Kaminsky on this, there was only 10 riders. We've got 30, 40 riders here in this group. Might be a little bit more difficult to pull a Kaminsky out here, but with that drafting power up under the downhill, we are seeing a rider making a move to the front right now. Big attack here coming through, and this is going into the final lap in just a moment here. Liking what I'm seeing from ESRT. This looks planned here from Jean-Roch as well as Anderson. And ESRT, we've got one other ESRT rider here. That's going to be a double Jean-Roch. There's 2 of them.
Oh, man, a Jean-Roch over the top of a Jean-Roch. Are you kidding me? It is on like Donkey Kong out here right now. Nathan, I'm a little surprised, but not completely, to tell you the truth, as these guys definitely have drawn the sword, and it's now this clash that's going to be happening over the last lap. So the gap opens up. It's gone single file. Nathan, I love your comment there. It's definitely true that Zwiftcraft is a big part of this, but also just raw ambition right now. This is Arnaud that we're looking at, Arnaud Jean-Roch out of the United Kingdom, as his energy bar is completely depleted. Both of Cedric and Jean-Roch as well. This is a rider we've got to know well here over the last few weeks. Definitely brings the heat. These guys are going for it. All the chips pushed into the middle of the table. This is what racing in this ZRacing series, Zwift Games, is all about. So, Nathan, we've seen some crazy things happen out here. I'd say that it's going to be fun to watch at a minimum. There's going to be bodies laying all over Scotland.
Flito now trying to go across. Now, the big question is, after these efforts, can they come up and over the top of the Clyde kicker with any kind of speed and stay away? That's going to be the name of the game here, as Justin Afflito here now is trying to go across to these two. Jean-Michel's now pushing the pace. The Belgian here just behind Afflito and leading the group on. And they've got 4 seconds. Will they have a kick, though? Up and over the top, the Clyde kicker is going to be the big question. It was a 1 lap to go punch. We've seen it done before, specifically this way. The two of them working together. Will anybody have what's needed to come over the top with any kind of gap? They're going to have 13, 14 watts per kilogram over the top of this. Afflito now, look at the American flying over the top of this.
Wow, just going nuclear powered right there. If he can sustain this effort, going to be awful hard to bring back. They're going to run out of real estate really quickly here. Nathan, that peloton just lurking, though I still think they believe in themselves, but the American showing them a clean Tron bike right now. Here we go. So it's starting to splinter behind. It's every man for himself here.
Yeah, Kirkfield now
Drafting
making his way to
PowerUp.
the front. It's going to be the Dragons, but it's over the top with Perode now. No hurry monitors anywhere today. Oh, man. I don't know.
This is wild.
This
Yeah.
is absolutely out of control at this point. What is even happening? I'm going to double check here real quickly on the heart rate monitor. I think is that enforced at all? I'm double checking and
it doesn't
seeing.
seem to be.
No, I'm seeing within the enforcements here, no heart rate monitors require. Oh man! Oh no, wait.
Why
Please
bother?
note, for your
Right,
results
okay.
to show in Zwift Power, you must use a heart rate monitor and be riding on a smart trainer or smart bike, or be using a power meter. So there is that. So ZP will not
Double
be
check
tracking
that
this.
then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Kaboom's
Oh.
doing the Kaminsky. He's doing the Kaminsky.
He
It's
did
happening.
a Kaminsky.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think anybody would
He
go
went
for it.
full
Too
Kaminsky.
predictable. It's on here now, Dave, and he's going. He's got 11 watts per kilogram.
Well, all right, let's see if he can hold on. He's certainly going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel, looking for every watt as the placebo power-up has been deployed. Let's see what's going to happen behind him. They're going to try to close this down. They're running out of real. They're not going to get him, Nathan.
No, it's full on Kaminsky mode, but this time instead of Poland, it's got, well, I don't know. Osbane kicks 15 watts per kilogram. Kaboom, just maybe be able to hold off. It's right to the line. He does it here.
He does
It
it.
looks like, oh my gosh. This
Wow,
is-
that was bananas. That whole thing was something else there. That
Yeah,
last
I was
lap.
gonna say
Kaboom.
something else. Oh my gosh. Kaboom. Well
Wow.
done there, RT
Yeah,
Kaboom.
living up to it.
That's
Living up
for
to
sure.
it, for sure.
We're like, this is the B category is just as fast. I mean, I'm all the way back in 156.
They're
They've
right
almost
there.
finished. Like, what is going
They're
on?
about to start sprinting.
Like, I'm trying to even, I can't
Okay,
even find
super
the
quick.
front of the, I can't find the front of this race. Like, what
Keep
is, there
going.
it is.
Keep going.
Owen.
There it is. All right.
Making a move.
Okay,
the Welshman.
Owen here, Nathan, but he's going to get caught, it looks like, as we pick up the action again. Thanks for joining us. We're in Glasgow. This is the Bees, and they're into 1K to go. Definitely passed the Herd Bell a while ago. 5 laps of racing out on this course. I heard you in the commentary this weekend talking about how the catch isn't made until the catch is made, right? So Owen's still dangling off the front.
That's a good point. I think on this steep downhill, it's going to be really tough for Owen
Really
to hold
tough,
off.
yeah.
I mean, with this this roll down
Allow me
here,
to dream, please. Please allow me to dream.
I mean, will we have another
Yeah.
Kaminsky move? I mean, this has been a signature move that's been set now, it seems like, at this point. I'm not seeing any drafting power-ups with the roll-through, though. Where's the roll-through? Where's the kick? No avatars flying out of that pack at this point. It looks to me like this is going to be more of a regular old setup. Owen's just, well, who is the man out of Finland here trying to make a move? Alalusa now with Rajon as well. The German, 10 watts per kilogram, a little bit later than a Kaminsky move, but that's a good move over the bump there. Owen now trying to come across again there, not going to be able to do so. You see that roll-through speed? That's what it's all about right there. That guy,
there's your... Yeah, Nathan, that's definitely worth noting. We can go back and even take a look at it possibly, but that's the Zwift craft that we can take away from this racing in these groups. But look at the charge now. Finish line comes up quickly, and that's going to be it. The sprint is on.
Gets caught. Ouch. You gotta keep
Yikes,
pedaling.
that shows you how hard
you
it
gotta
is.
keep pedaling.
Well, that's part of it. It's an awfully big part of it, Nathan. That's a good
pedaling,
pro tip right there.
If you want to race a bike, you have to pedal.
Got to keep pedaling. Yeah. So, you know what? I wish I'd gotten that tip when I was a junior.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest pro tip I've ever gotten.
I heard Kevin Livingston, Nathan, years ago when asked about how do I go faster. His answer was pedal harder. And I was like, yeah. Right? I mean, what more do you need to hear?
Pedal harder.
So, okay.
That's what usually when I get a new coaching client, that's what every day that I set up in their training peaks, it just says pedal harder each day, and it seems to work.
Right, exactly. Pedal harder, ride longer, eat a little bit less, and you'll
well, I don't know. It depends
on
who you are on the eat less part of things.
That's true. I'm looking at me.
Yeah, okay,
actually.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. I had to just adjust my weight on Zwift, so I'm sensitive, right? That's never fun to do.
Who are these guys? What's going on with these guys?
Well, it's our C's at 1K to go, right? So, but it's a 3-rider group off the front. The chase is trying to organize here. It looks like they're confident in their ability. A lot of guys back here, Nathan, I think that it's going to be a kick. Playing a dangerous game, though.
Yeah, I think that they're going to... Well, those are lapped riders right ahead of them, it looks like, I think.
Oh, sorry. So
that's okay.
They're all kind of winding up.
Yeah, this is going to be
winding up
interesting
for the
with
sprint.
those lapped riders because they're going to have to roll through them, actually, in a second here, going into the sprint. So it's going to get real crazy. Looking for anybody who's looking to do that roll-through speed that we just saw. It has been caught at the line once, but it worked one time before that. Kay Osborne, always one to watch out for as he makes his way up toward the front. Goldsworthy now is here on the attack. Result the Frenchman as well. 4.5. No orange numbers just as of yet. Maverick from the ART team now looking to come through, it looks like. But this is going to be Whamily from the Quip. Now, nice little kick. 4.6 watts per kilogram. He might be able to do this here, but on the front, it's going to be Farlow, the Canadian. The Canadian holding on in first place here at this point. But now another kick comes through from Cafari, the Italian. Perfect timing on the drafting power-up. Cafari to the line, perhaps, but result now the Frenchman. No, I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to it here now. Farlow, nope. Cafari, Rajon down to the line. The Frenchman just gets it. Well done. The timing there.
Wow. Yeah, that was solid understanding of when to make the effort. So that wraps up the C's. Last group out there is going to be the D's as we work through our Zwift Games categories here.
Yeah, we're going to see. I'm looking to find them, actually. That's the last one that
worries. Yeah.
No worries. I mean, it could be one or the other. So,
well, to your credit, Nathan, it has been really over the last, it's been more than just a few months. We're talking about a year now of a dedicated effort to try to cover more than just the A categories. And it's been well received and greatly appreciated that you make these efforts. So we'll give you some breathing room to try to find that. We'll have our results coming up here. As Zwift Games moves into its final event, the climb Alp to Zwift. A lot of talk about the Yeti. The excitement about this one, we're kind of honing in now on the third and final week of what's been the most successful racing series that we've seen in the history of esports, in my opinion.
Actually, there's over 100,000 people have participated in this specific Zwift Games community racing. 100,000. That is that's the most we've ever seen. We've never seen anything like that before,
or even close. To be honest, this is true. Something has happened in the last few months in such a positive way with Zwift that we have.
How is this only third place? What is going on here? Somebody must have like completely smashed the front of this race here, because
they raced their way up into the C race already for next week. Is what's
They've
happened.
already got an upgrade into the C race.
They're already upgraded.
It disappeared. Right? So this is a race for third because
auto upgrade happened.
I don't know where first place even is at this point. They're around the corner up ahead somewhere. There it is. Z Cycle Cafe, I think, right here is second place. First place isn't even on the radar, actually. So whoever that is, kudos to you. You're gone now at this point. Z-Cycle Cafe must be some sort of cafe in Germany. Now, they're not going to be getting, I'm assuming they just jumped on the bike at the cafe without a heart rate monitor into this race. And they probably have no idea that it's broadcast, actually, which is really funny here. Copy now, big kick, though, come from him in this D category. Will Silva do it again? He tends to take these sprints down over and over. Look at the timing there. Always, Peter Silva takes it down from the group sprint. Nicely done. Copping's there as well, though. Thompson, I saw, all mixed up, though, on this course because of the lap situation. I think the reality of how hard this course is, Dave, I think probably makes it so that once you're dropped on that side kicker, you kind of just throw your hands in the air and you're like, whatever, it's done.
Yeah, when you pull the pin, it's dramatic, the difference in speed between those racing and those in the laughing group. If I was out there, I would still be on lap 2.
Did you say the laughing
3.
group? The laughing group? Is
right.
that what we're calling them? I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but these tougher circuits definitely create a dynamic that makes for better racing as well. So I fully understand why this is so popular out there, but it's just plain hard. I mean, imagine if you just wanted to take a friend and go out for a 10K ride, how challenging it would be to do it on a circuit like that, all of the ups and downs. It's no city park ride. That's for sure. So we, again, just like last week, we're going to have our top 30. We made this commitment, and one thing, if you haven't seen over the last decade of Nathan with Zwift Community Live, that there's a real commitment to keeping your word around here. And we said top 30. And Nathan, has it changed? Is it back to top 10? No.
Nope, it's change, top 30. It's top 30. We're pulling in the top 30 for sure. I do want to just highlight that in the rule set that is set up actually on these, you only show up in Zwift Power if you have a heart rate monitor, just as a heads up there. So some may be missing from this overall here. Kaboom, buddy, like 5.8 watt per kilogram average at 329 watts. And you are at 56.7 kilograms. This guy is like climbing galore. Like, holy cow, dude. But RT Kaboom takes it down here. It looks like, followed up by Gokhan Osbe. You want to take us through? We'll do top 30 here.
You got it, Nathan. Thanks again. So would you do me a favor, though, Nathan, and increase the font for me with thanks, sir. So RT Kaboom taking the win. In second is Gokhan Osbe. Simon Nielsen for third. Peter West in fourth today. Jan Eifert in fifth. Christoph Thiem out here in Glasgow, 5 laps, is sixth. It's Eric Noreen in seventh. Rasek Bukowski in eighth. Kirkfield in ninth. Charles McCarthy, 10th today. Pat Case in 11th. James Young in 12th. T. Swan in 13th. 14th, Dale Seaton. 15th in our A's was Henri Bontsev. Brandon Martin for 16th. Scott Turner 17th. ARMM in 18th. Jeff Lemay In 19th are Visic in 20th, Dan Groom for 21st, Michael Podsley 22nd in our A's, Angelique Koltzer, South African there in our A's 23rd. It's Morten Yarland 24th, Timon Kruger 25th, Tim Valerino 26th, Mel Meziou in 27th, Cedric Jean-Roch in 28th, Sebastian Lobinger in 29th, and then Matthias Ovalbeck rounds out our top 30 for the A's out here
I want
today.
to highlight the Jean Roques though. Nice job on them making that last ditch effort there. 1 lap to go. What a great effort by them. And I was actually rooting for them to make it to the line. I really was. That was pretty cool to see the way that they went at it for that last 1 lap to go kick, but unable to hold to the line. Spencer Morris here taking down that sprint at the end, didn't he, Dave?
Yeah, good job for the Dimanche rider. Winning in the sprint, he would be joined on the podium by David Moyer and Ben N. Next up in fourth was Rajon. Ned Bowen in fifth. Mikhail Semin in sixth. Seventh for Sasha Damrow. Eighth for Chris Benham. Ninth for Emma Johnston. Good work, Emma, the Canadian. 10th place for George Hunter. 11th for Dan Manolo. It's Gloomhaven in 12th, 13th for Christian Enders, 14th for Gabriel Pablo Villar, 15th for Andres Jarlstig, 16th for Jason O'Neill, 17th for Jay Senstead, 18th for Peter Jan Fuel, in 19th, Hendrik Guruso, 20th place for Alexander Koop, 21st for Jacob Jorgensen, 22nd for Michael H., 23rd for Panu Alulusu, Florian Wu for 24th, Nick Hanley for 25th, 26th place is Vegard Halverson, 27th for Tommy Sellers, Matthias Bergqvist for 28th, 29th is Oliver Milk, and it's Andrew Todd there in 30th.
I'm just going to highlight real quickly here this Dimanche team. They've been showing up recently. Dimanche. Well, Dimanche is a French word that translates to Sunday. Yeah, we're an English-speaking team named after a Jamaican horse, they said. Interesting. Sunday is a day we all typically put on our spandex, hop on our bikes, and escape from the Monday reality of the weeks. So the name stuck. Huh, interesting. And they actually number 1 in the B category for the men and the women, just highlighting Emma Johnson there amongst the women in this B mixed category. And I've been noticing them recently at the front end of a lot of those races on Zwift, and just highlighting them as they show up a little bit more on the radar. I'm wondering if they're going to get a little bit more involved at the top end of the esports, because these are some serious results that they're getting in some of the community races. So cool to see from them as they make their way through the categories. Now into the C's, though, as we're in with John Maverick at the top from ART.
Thanks, Nathan. John Maverick right there on top of the table. It's going to be Stefano Cafari of Inox in second. Kevin Osborne for third. Lee Thompson fourth. Matty Herman in fifth. For our C's, sixth place was Oliver Farla. Seventh is Grew. There's Grew, Nathan. Jacques Duplessis in seventh. Eighth, Matthew Howard. Ninth place is Andreas Vestergaard. And 10th place to Mark Johnson. It will be in 11th here, Alex Schad. Michael Varmeling in 12th, Christian Brown 13th, Brandon Jacobson 14th, Ja Pei in 15th, it's Luca Degre in 16th, Birgir Gunnarsson 17th, Stephen DeSmet 18th, Jake Goldsworthy 19th, and Stefano Bortolot in 20th. It's Terry Leduc in 21st, Nikolai Peterson 22nd, Mr. Magica 23rd, Fabio Mideria 24th, and 25th place is Arlid Tredal.
Yeah,
26th, Tim
right.
Norton.
I think we got that.
Yeah. So I think so. I hope. And if not, always we're available on social media. If you have any feedback on these pronunciations, I am more than an open sponge to learn about pronunciations. Tim Norton there, Johannes Aschheim, Lasse Lickbach Franzen, Clark Davis, and Christian Colesse, along with, got to give a shout out to Suzanne Freeberg there.
Susan, yeah, from Vixen Fox, nicely done.
Nice
In the C
job.
category.
Sure.
Yep.
That might be
That might
right
be
there in our-
30th. That might be it. It might be
maybe 31st. Right.
Right on the edge there. Right on the edge there. This guy with the question marks. What? I like. There must be some sort of I wonder if that's like some sort of character that didn't process.
Joker. Right.
Usually there's like characters that didn't work, and then it just gives you other things, like other characters that came through.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Anyways.
All right, well, let's get our D's top 30 out there after another fun day of racing here.
5.2 watts per kilogram at 24 kilograms. I don't know,
That's
Peter.
the question marks.
That's the big question mark at the front of a D category. I mean, that's A category. So Peter's getting an upgrade for sure. Either way, that is the question marks. I think that's definitely
Right.
question marks. As Silva, I think,
He's like,
takes the official.
I can't believe how much power I have. Can you? Question mark, question mark, question mark. All right. So let's go with, this is our D's. Peter Sliva, excuse me, there on top of the table with Kaylin Thompson in second, Sandra Mobius in third, Maximilian Bruckel in fourth, Karsta Rent in fifth. It's Not So Slim in sixth, Will DeGraff in seventh, Patrick Ansems in eighth, Simon Whitehouse ninth, Eric Holmeland in 10th. Now, for 11th place, it's H. Blankenfeld, Jeff McMillan in 12th, Trond Semslot 13th, Andrew Byrne 14th, A. Teutman in 15th, Ingo Besse in 16th, Neil Ronegal in 17th. Does that do it? Let me
Oh, geez. I was looking for Not So Slim.
Sorry, there.
I'm sorry.
Nick Blythe there in 18th, Ryan Rusin in 20th. It's Sylvester Horlock in. Let me just keep rolling here. Sylvester, then Carlos Cabrerizo, Radek Dremal, Lloyd King, all making the top 30 here. Ryan S., Jerry Chambers, C. Vandeville, Florian Fee, Einar Mon, Henrik Brunander, and then Roger Rabbit. I think that's probably a great place to stop today.
Is it actually Roger Rabbit? I like that. That's great. It's actually Robert.
Don't you think that's a good name? Pull a rabbit out of a hat, Nathan, for our final rider of the 120 that made the honor roll on our top 30 for Z Racing. What was an inside joke has become a tradition for us. And we're about traditions here as well. We're always breaking new ground with esports and moving into new areas. But Nathan, it's always nice to remember where we came from as well.
I'm trying to find. He logged out. Dang, I almost had him. He did. We have a running weekly Mr. Man, and I'm not sure which one this is. If you can help me out here, everybody. Which one is that? That's what it was, his profile picture this week. So everybody, there you go. We have 108 viewers live plus. This is one of our most popular broadcasts actually every week at this point. I think we had like 2,000 plus people checking out.
Can you send me a link?
Games.
Can you send me a link, Nathan, where I could go find all of the Mr. Man, like the periodic table of Mr. Mans? There's probably,
Mr. Man,
50, 60?
Hold on a second. Mr. Men.
Mr.
That
Men.
was Mr. Tickle. That was Mr. Tickle. That's who that was, because it's one of the main ones. Mr. Tickle with the long arms coming to tickle. Oh my gosh. I can send it to you. I only can send it to you on WhatsApp. So
I'll find it on my own.
I got you. I got a link here right now. I have a link here right now.
It's become a thing.
This
has become a thing.
Everybody's
now,
loving it. Everyone, Mr. Tickle. There's like 3 or 4, 5 people coming in. Mr. Tickle. They love it. I absolutely love it.
I forget. Mr. Greedy was the one a couple of weeks ago.
Was it greedy or was it? It was a greedy or it was
Hungry. Might have been hungry.
Mr. Greedy or something along those lines. The guy with the big tummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we have a lot to look. Final week of Zwift Games coming up again. Congratulations to you said over 100,000 people
Yeah, it's
participating in
awesome.
Zwift
It's
Games.
totally awesome.
I'm not surprised. You know, there's millions of folks that Zwift, and the fact that the competitive and community have come together
Those
with
two,
Zwift Games.
those two words you used there are interesting ones, and we've got the comments, and we see the comments, and like, listen to the rap last week because that's the place for that conversation. We will have that conversation. We have this conversation at least once a month, maybe every 2 months on the rap. Alex M, I see your comment over on YouTube. It is a conversation that's been happening for, I think Zwift's 10-year anniversary is coming up pretty quickly here. And the comment, and I'll just read out, when will Zwift take community races seriously, improve their race cats and race classification? And I think that there is different expectations that come to the table about what is Zwift racing, and just serving those expectations up front with spaces for those expectations to be served is 100% the thing that I advocate for. And I hope that we see that in the future. But a lot of conversations happen about that on the Rap podcast, and that is the place for that conversation, just so you guys know. I'm fine with the comments coming through here as well. Like, the more conversation that happens around it, the more obviously people are excited about constructive criticism, as well as pointing toward and aiming toward what is better as far as what everybody desires and wants. And absolutely love it that we get to see all of the passion and desire from the community for whatever you're looking for service in the Zwift community, to get the product that you're specifically looking for. So really appreciate Alex, you coming on through and letting us know what you think. But Dave, what we got coming up next week? I think, this one's a little bit different with Zwift Games, the way that it's run, because instead of on the weekly with ZRacing, they did it kind of on a 3 to 4 day schedule, with it changing every 3 to 4 days, specifically because they wanted to make sure that the epic or longer races could happen on the weekend, so that people had like time to plan around them, because a Monday or Tuesday night going for 80 kilometers might not be the best way to get up the next morning, right? So that's the reason why that changed.
Yeah, it's funny too, because I was working at Cactus Cup this weekend, as we said at the top of the broadcast, and Katie, who runs a timing company called Omnigo, what you said makes sense for 97% of people, but she was working on the weekend that she wanted to be doing that epic event. And I get it. And you know what I really felt, and we completely agreed on, was it's great that she has a passion for something. It means so much to her that it just makes you recognize what's important to you, is what we came to after that. And you don't always get what you want. And that's one of the things for being a global company like Zwift, and trying to create events that are encompassing racing around the 24 different time zones. I think there's even more than that with the way it all breaks down. But either way, we're trying to figure out a way to make it work for as many people as possible. And this Zwift Games has been a good example of that. So, and I love those comments as well. You're right. The podcast is a perfect place, or I should say what you're doing with Anna is really the perfect place to have those discussions. It's a little challenging sometimes when you're covering racing, trying to also be an official as well, right?
Yeah.
I really look at it.
Yeah,
I look at it from my perspective.
That's a good point. And we'll get it. Maybe we'll dive into it again a little bit more this week, perhaps, or maybe what the next step on that is, maybe bringing in a couple of experts or those that work specifically in this area, maybe in the Zwift product area specifically, or maybe other product areas like in esports or regular racing that have had to deal with new technology spaces that we can't. I mean, in real life, you don't have this problem necessarily, right? Like if somebody's outperforming a category or something, you upgrade them, and then like it's like they show up, they sign up, you check their license, it's done. You know what I mean? And that's one thing. And then there's also the reality of there's not as many ways for things to be off. I'll just put it that way in real life,
right?
Unless we're testing blood. So that's
my
about
last.
It.
No, absolutely. My last comment on that, Nathan, would be, it really comes down to controlling your own morals and ethos, and it starts with you doing the right thing where you are, right? And
yeah,
it all
it's true.
builds
Yeah,
from there.
we talked about that on there was a great little Sarah, was it Harris? Was her last name over on Zwift Riders? There was a ton of comments that came through because she was frustrated about the racing being accurate and clean, or as far as all the riders' power outputs and weights, etc., and all that kind of stuff and categorization, and it got some of the most comments. And there's essentially 3 different categories that you could have with that. One of the categories is, frustration with human individuals, like just come on, like do the right thing. It was one of the categories that comes up over and over again. But anyways, we talked about that on the podcast specifically. Like what we're at the point that this has been talked about so much that you can essentially categorize the general responses that you will get, like it's like a science or a class that you could have on it. Here's the 5 different responses that you will get. Every single one of those responses will be one of these responses as a solution or a gripe or da 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 da. And we talk about that a little bit as well there. So hey, I really appreciate how about discussing it during your live streams when you're 180 beats per minute. Jaden Yager coming in. Jaden, you've seen that. You know that I've discussed that at 180 beats per minute on my live streams. While you're forcing me, Jaden, to have 180 beats per minute chasing your wheel in my own Zwift Games race last week. Anyways, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, we really appreciate every single one of you hitting those follow, subscribe, like, and commenting. Doing all of those things helps out the channel. The algorithms, they try to figure out what you like, and if you like this stuff, it gives it to you more. So go ahead and hit subscribe, like, and comment, and if you like the content, because then the technology will give you more of what we are producing. And we have jumped over that 14,000 subscriber mark. Thank you so much for helping us hit that goal. Next on the radar, 15K. When will we get there? Well, probably be a little while, but we really appreciate everybody getting us to that 14K goal for this Zwift season. And we'll probably put out a little post as a thank you to everybody for that. Well, that's going to be it for us. We will see you for the wrap Wednesday night and next week for Zwift Games. Dave will be back with us. For now, though, from Dave and I, as always, really appreciate you and ride on.